Hey everybody, thanks so much for coming over to my website. My name is Shaun Hadsall and I'm a fat loss expert with over 20 years of real-world hands-on experience in the fitness industry. And in this short eye-opening presentation, I'm going to reveal 3 metabolic triggers that block your fat loss and 3 simple rules that you can use to instantly fix it. And I'm going to do this through something that I call macro patterning. And this is a discovery that I made after suffering from what I call the low-carb crux. And this is why 95% of all people who try some low-carb plan or some other type of trendy diet gain all or more of their weight back within a year of losing it. So if you've ever dieted before, or you've ever just went periods where you've eaten unhealthy for a lengthy period of time, then research shows and actually proves that your metabolism could be damaged and radically altered. And what I'm about ready to show you with these 3 metabolic triggers is how you can fix it. So you can read the story about my discovery about macro patterning below this video. In the meantime, I want to introduce you to the 3 metabolic triggers that are blocking your fat loss and the 3 simple rules that you can follow to instantly fix it. Now the first one I'm going to teach you is how to manipulate glycogen. The second one is how to master your fat burning hormones. And the third one is how to limit fat spillover. And I have a box drawn up here for a reason. This is actually a picture of your body. And this is the inside of your body, and outside your body out here is where you store that ugly word, fat. So in here is where you store your body fat. Now, inside your body, in here, you're holding bone, tissue, organ, glands, and some other things. And this is where you're going to actually control and learn how to manipulate your fat burning hormones. Now, what we really want to pay attention to is in here, which is your muscle tissue or your storage tank. Now, in particular, this is where you store carbohydrates in the form of what we call glycogen. So this is how you can manipulate glycogen. What ends up happening is when you consume carbs on a daily basis, you start filling up your muscle tissue. And as you continue to consume carbs day after day, you end up filling your tank all the way to the top. Now, every time you go to consume a carbohydrate, you have nowhere to store it. So unless you're running off the road, burning it off, or using some other type of high-intensity exercise to burn it off, you're going to suffer from what we call fat spillover. And that's where the term fat spillover comes in, and that's where you hear about carbohydrates spilling over and being stored as fat. Now, what most people will do in this situation is they'll turn around and they'll go the other way and they'll go low-carb, and they'll try to manipulate their carbohydrate intake and come all the way down here and try to get down here so their body can burn fat. And this ends up working, but it's a temporary quick fix that could get you in a trick bag, and it can actually block your fat loss. So what I'm going to introduce you to in the next 3 videos is how you can macro pattern your carb intake with 3 simple tricks to overcome these 3 obstacles that block your fat loss. And what macro patterning is going to teach you how to do is to live life right in this area right here without ever crossing this line of fat spillover. And then a few times of the week with these 3 simple rules, you can come down here and actually program your body to come over here and grab and find fat and burn it as fuel. So in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to manipulate glycogen and introduce you to your first metabolic trigger and your first simple rule that you need to follow. Okay, welcome back. So now I'm going to introduce you to the first metabolic trigger that's blocking your fat loss and the simple rule that you can follow to overcome this obstacle and start healing some of the damage that you may have done to your metabolism. And most importantly, program your body to make fat its primary go-to energy source on a daily ongoing basis. Now, we know from the introduction video that if we eat too many carbohydrates and we're not burning them off over time, we fill up our tank. And then every time we consume a carb, unless we're burning it off, the minute that that carbohydrate enters our mouth, it's available for energy. This is the only food source that's instantly available for energy to the body. So when we consume these carbohydrates, remember that they'll spill over and actually start helping you accumulate more belly fat unless you're running off the road burning them off. So we have to manipulate carb intake in a healthy manner. And we call this depleting. And most people, when they deplete, they do it completely the wrong way and they actually damage their metabolism even further. So you have to make sure that, number 1, you deplete for the right durations. Number 2, you deplete with the right foods. And number 3, you deplete at the right times. And here is what you want to do. We want to manipulate glycogen by lowering your carb intake and keeping your carb grams under 50 grams a day on your cardio or your interval days. So this should be approximately about 3 days of your week. You want to keep those carb grams under 50. Now you want to make sure that these carb grams are only impact carbs. When I say impact carbs, that means no starches and no fruits on these days. You can still have lots of green vegetables and you can have residual carbs from other foods. Just make sure that you're keeping an eye on your carb grams and you keep them below 50 grams per day on your cardio days. And what this will do is it will allow you to drain your glycogen tank down here on those days so that now you have room for an influx of carbohydrates to keep your metabolism happy. And this is one of the things that we do to help you master your fat burning hormones right in here. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you on the next video.